It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero. It's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening, blah, 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 blah. Whenever you're watching, whenever you're listening, glad to have you. Today's show, she's being brought to you in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant located on beautiful St. Simon's Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's Island to get a decent pizza and an Italian meal. Hey, guess what? I'm going to be there all next week, so if you're in the area, stop by Sal's. And we'll have a couple of 392 scotches together. Yeah. We'll do that, at Sal's. And don't forget, if you're traveling on I-95, whether you're going north or south, you can swing by Sal's. It's literally a 15-minute out-of-your-way detour. And they got clean bathrooms there, too. So check it out, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by Gawkbox. What is it? Well, it can save you some money. It can help us out. It can get you discounts. It's a beautiful thing. Two-way street, man. Check out Gawkbox. Visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the Gawkbox banner. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the Turning Stone Resort and Casino and their next boxing event, which is Friday night, part of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Get yourself some tickets right now by visiting our website, billycboxing.com. And clicking on the Turning Stone fight poster. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. You can pick up a copy by going to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. If you want to get a signed copy, don't worry about it. Just visit our website and click on the book, which you can't miss. Coming up on today's show, I got some discussion about my man, Triple G. Talking smack, uncharacteristic of Triple G. We'll talk about that. Fonfara, we got an update on Andres Fonfara. We got some emails. We got some sports scores. We got an update on Anthony Joshua I'm a little wondering about. All of that stuff. I want to give a special shout-out to all of our viewers on Facebook Live. We've been experimenting with that. We did some decent numbers yesterday. I just want to remind you guys, if you're watching on Facebook Live, that the full television version of this show is over on our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, Facebook is only allowing us one camera, so you actually got the worst camera feed of all the cameras in the studio here. So if you're looking to get the full video effect, visit our YouTube page. Go to youtube.com/talkin, TALKIN, boxing, BOXING, and you will see a much more video-enhanced version of the show. And one other thing I want to point out, if you want to interact, I do interact with Facebook, but we will get your comments part of the show if you go into our chat room up on BillyCBoxing.com. Joining me right now from St. Simon's Island is my man, Sal Rocky Senecola. Good morning, Sal.
Good morning, Bill. How are you today, my friend?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Today I want to start off talking, Sal, about my man Triple G. Triple G, who I think is one of the I think he's the best middleweight in the world today, but I also think he's a pound-for-pound top fighter. one of the things I like about this guy is he's what I call a blue-collar type fighter. You know, he brings his lunch pail to work and gets the job done. You never hear him say much, except maybe big drama show. I'm going to do a big drama show, you know. But he's talking some smack, Sal. It was announced yesterday that the Triple G and Saul Canelo Alvarez fight will take place in Las Vegas on September 16th. But he's been talking smack, like saying stuff that about Canelo, like, you know, he should have knocked out Julio Cesar Chavez, and said that he's in for a rude awakening. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. All the things I can't stand with fighters when they're talking smack. And considering he's come off not one but two, so-so performances, what do you make of it?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to sell tickets. Who knows? I don't think he has to. But bottom line is that is very uncharacteristic of Triple G. And I don't think he's going to try and get into the mind psyche of Canelo Alvarez. But hey, you know what? Maybe this is the twilight of his career. He's changing a few things around. Who the heck knows? Maybe he's wanted to try this for a while. This could be just him evolving, or him taking his cocoon nest off. I don't know. You got me. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find the answer.
Well, you know, for me, I find it pretty strange. Triple G has said that Canelo, it was pathetic that Canelo couldn't knock out Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who he referred to as a drained version of Chavez. He says that he's in for a rude awakening when they face off in September. He says that the matchup between them is not going to be a tough fight for him. He also said that Triple G said that Canelo, you know, pulling the macho, standing up between rounds for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was stupid. He said he wasn't doing anything except showing off, trying to look tough, trying to act tough, trying to look good in front of the ladies. I mean, this is all stuff that is so uncharacteristic of Triple G. I mean, why is he doing it? Why is he doing it?
Can I tell you something? Come from one fighter to another. Billy, what he's saying is dead on, too. I mean, that's exactly what I would be thinking. So, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to talk smack a little bit, get under the skin of Canelo Alvarez. And, you know, I will tell you this, too. I don't think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. would have withstood the barrage of punches that he did from Canelo if it was Triple G on that other end of the corner throwing those punches. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. It is uncharacteristic, and I'm not sure what the motivation is, but the end result will soon be discovered. September 16th, 2017, another fight of the century this year.
You know, we got a lot of comments going on here on Facebook Live, which I'm like, you know, I'm doing like you. You know, I'm always yelling at you for going in the chat room and typing while I'm trying to talk to you. And I'm trying to do all this stuff. But you know, already people are talking about, you know, who's going to win and everything else here over on Facebook Live. But, you know, the thing is that I think, and we have so much time to talk about this fight. I know that, you know, it's a well-anticipated fight. We've been wanting this fight for a long time. But the same thing, Sal, that I've been saying about Canelo is going to be perfect for Triple G. Canelo, what do I say? His weakness, he has not improved on being able to throw punches on the move. Now, I'm not expecting him to be a Floyd Mayweather fighter where he can land effective punches while he's backpedaling or moving or whatever. But Canelo's inability to land effective punches while he's moving is going to be the Achilles heel in the Triple G fight. The last thing you want to do against Triple G is give him a stationary target. I mean, the only chance that Canelo has is movement. Every single fight that we've seen that has given Triple G even just a little bit of trouble has been fighters that are athletic, that can move. You could go back to Willie Monroe Jr. For as long as that fight lasted, while Willie was able to move around, Triple G had trouble. Kell Brook, for as long as that fight lasted, he gave Triple G a little trouble. His last fight, going the distance. Some people thought that Danny Jacobs won that fight because of movement and boxing. I think it was a close fight, but I thought Triple G won. So all of these things, Sal, point to that. If you have movement, you'll give Triple G trouble. The problem is Canelo can't effectively fight on the move. So he's going to be looking to stay in front and try and duke it out with Triple G. Even though I think Canelo is a bigger fighter than Triple G, I don't think that game plan will work.
Well, I'll tell you what. You sell it to me. I'll tell you what. It sounds very evident that it might be a short night for Canelo by the way you describe it. Now, we don't know what's in a fighter's heart or mind, and I know that Canelo Alvarez has different answers. Now, Canelo Alvarez is also in his peak years right now. He has arrived. He's here. He's at his prime. And whether he could tweak his style a little bit here or there to offset or better his opponent, I've seen glimpses of this, his changing up his style a little bit here and there between different opponents. But to do a whole thing and try to outbox and move side to side and throw punches while you're moving, that's not really his format. And like I said, when this fight was first being discussed, I do not see this fight going the distance, and I do see Triple G stopping Canelo Alvarez. Now, with that being said, that was years ago. I do see a better fighter in Canelo Alvarez today. I don't know what he plans on doing, his strategy, because I know if he does stand in front of Triple G, it's going to be a tough night for him, I believe, because those heavy hands are just that. When you get hit by a heavy thudded hand, it's going to break you down. Not the first punch, not the second punch, not even the third, fourth, or fifth, but over the rounds, you're going to feel, and it's going to take its toll. And that's going to be the kind of receptive pain I think that Canelo Alvarez, if he stands in front of Triple G, is going to experience. Am I right?
You're right, Sal. You're right.
Good answer. Good answer. Ding, 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 ding.
The survey says that. Oh, yeah, no. But,
Triple G for 10.
The thing is I'm sure they're telling Triple G to say, listen, I'm not sure. But let's assume that they're telling Triple G, you got to say this kind of stuff, be out of your element. But really, does this fight have to be sold? I mean, do we have to try to sell tickets? This thing is going to sell out, man. I mean, there's no question about it. The desire and the want from the fans, all fans, not just boxing fans, want to see this fight. I got one more comment to make, but don't be raising your hand. Put your hand down. Put your hand out. We're going to take a short little break. Hold that thought. We're going to take a short break. And listen, I see you, Sal. I see you. Just because the camera shot didn't switch over there yet, we'll get you. We're going to answer your question. Sal's waving his hand right now. We're going to answer your question as soon as we get back from the break. So we'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C. Show. And don't forget, if you're in the St. Simons Island area next week, and even if you weren't planning on being in the St. Simons Island next week, plan on being in St. Simons Island area next week, because I'm going to be there. And I'd love to talk some boxing with you at Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant. Trust me, there'll be no better atmosphere than talking boxing at Sal's, where we could be stuffing our faces and using Sal's bathroom. Well, no, I don't know why I keep saying that, Sal. But listen, before we went to break, you had your hand raised, Sal. What do you want? What do you want?
I got a great idea. Great idea. They don't come that often, but when they do, I got to raise my hand.
All right. What is it? What is it?
All right. We should put out to the audience. Let's think of the moniker, the slogan for this fight. Like my comeback fight was, my own self-thought was come back to reality. Let's see who comes up with the best title, the best tagline for this fight. Whether it's the night of truth or dare. May the best man win. How about 47 minutes of reality? Hello? Am I here?
Yeah. Good one. Good answer. Let's see.
Right?
Let's go to the video. Is Sal's idea a good answer? Let's hear it right now. Oh, Sal. I don't know. They've already named the fight.
How much they mix that target by?
I think they. Well, as much as the blind guy shooting the bow and arrow before, that's about how much you missed.
Come on,
but they already named it. They already named it. Listen, my point. One last point on this.
Go ahead.
Triple G says that he, being himself, is the only real opponent that Canelo will have faced in his career. That is not a true statement. I mean, listen. No. I'm a fan of Triple G. I can't stand all the naysayers of Triple G. I love what he does. I think he's the best ring general in boxing. I think he was better than Floyd when Floyd was active. I think that no one cuts the ring off like Triple G. No one knows how to maneuver an opponent like Triple G, et cetera, all right? But you can't say that Canelo hasn't fought anybody. Canelo fought Mayweather. Canelo has fought some quality fighters. There's no question about that. I mean, Canelo is not an easy opponent for Triple G.
No, he's not.
It's a good fight. I like the matchup. Canelo's going to be bigger, Sal, than Triple G. So? Triple G has not looked good in his last couple of fights. And if he doesn't get back on track, and something Dax had said several weeks back, a month or so, before 2 months ago, before the last fight of Triple G, is that they're doing something with Triple G during his training where he's always getting sick before the training. Something's always happening.
Always.
They got to stop. They got to stop. He's got to focus on this fight, not trying to sell tickets. They don't need to sell tickets, Sal. I think, and I hate to say this, but I think that Triple G needs to shut up and do what he does. This is not a time to change his persona, his actions, his preparation for a fight. This guy needs to do what he does. What's your thoughts?
Well, exactly right. This is not the time where you start to come up with different ideas and this and that, and how to do this. Whether he gets sick a couple of weeks before a fight or what, I don't know what the story is, but the bottom line is he shouldn't change too much other than just his mentality, his mindset, and his mind frame. He's got to go out there like the destroyer. We try to question, we try to find the answer, we try to look at why does a fight take place along these lines? Why does a fighter think that? And the bottom line is, who knows what Triple G is going through right now? I do know he's in his twilight of his career. I do know that he only has maybe 1 to 3 good fights in him left, according to what we've seen in the past. Now, could this have been a facade? Could this have been something that he wanted to lull Canelo Alvarez into complacency to feel like he could fight him and beat him? Bottom line is, don't forget, he did win those fights against Daniel Jacobs and against Kell Brook, and he did stop Kell Brook with breaking his cheekbone or eye socket, whatever it was, before the 10th round. And I think, that says a lot, too. This guy's got power. This guy's got determination. And even when he looks bad, he's still good enough to beat the top world-class opponents out there. So I think right now he's got to focus. He's got to get his head on. And he's got to go right to the meat of the matter and put the blinders on. The Tiger. This guy knows what he's doing. He's a consummate professional. And I don't think we're going to see anything less than a stellar Triple G the night of that fight.
He's got 90. He's got 3 months to prepare for this fight.
18, I thought he wanted.
Well, no, that's Billy Joe Saunders needs 18 to prepare. But you say who knows? I say this: who knows? The shadow knows.
The shadow knows.
But listen, they are stepping into the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. It will be the last time Canelo actually fought there when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. They broke a record at that fight for the most fans ever watching a live boxing event in Las Vegas. Considering all the big names that fought in Vegas, they broke the record with seating more than 20,000. I would assume that Canelo Triple G is going to bring in more than 20,000. So we'll see a new record there. And you could make a good point that they are the top 2 fighters in the sport today, name recognition-wise and talent-wise. But anyway, Triple G, Canelo coming in September, will be in Las Vegas. And I just think that Triple G needs to shut the F up and just focus on this fight. I just don't think that he needs to change his persona at this stage of the game. He's already who he is, and if they're telling him to do this, I think they're making a mistake. But speaking of a mistake, I think that Andre Fonfara made a huge mistake by choosing Virgil Hunter as his trainer. Yesterday, I got into a lot of negativity about Virgil Hunter. Nothing about the man personally, but just his training techniques. Yes, he's successful with Andre Ward. Show me another fighter that he's successful with. They interviewed Fonfara. Fonfara says he can't remember what happened at all after the first round. He says, but I trust Virgil Hunter. He says, I know it's his job to protect me. His decision to stop the fight was the right one. He was trying to protect me. I got there was a comment that I saw somewhere on one of the interaction with the show, and somebody criticized me about suggesting that Virgil Hunter was a bad trainer, and his reason was that what did you want him to do? He's trying to protect his fighter. Well, I say this, Sal. If Virgil Hunter was really trying to protect his fighter, and if he was really a good trainer, he would have did what a guy like Buddy McGirt would have done. You stop the fight in between the round. If your fighter can't stand up, if you're telling your fighter, if you're giving your fighter instruction, and the instruction is, hey, don't throw any punches in the second round, try and get your legs together, then this guy shouldn't even be going out. If you're a good trainer, you keep him on the stool and you say, tomorrow's a new day, kid. Don't send him out there to take a few more shots when he can't even move. He's stumbling around like I stumble after a bottle and a half of scotch, and the trainer still sends him out there to fight. I think that was stupid. What do you think?
Well, we weren't there. So only Virgil Hunter and Fonfara really know the truth of that matter. Bottom line is, if he was that concerned, he may have seen dilated eye pupils. He may have seen signs that, obviously, if he doesn't remember, the guy had a concussion.
But why send him out?
I know.
My point is,
and that's just the whole thing too.
Yeah, but
it was inevitable if he knew it was that severe.
Yeah,
if
but
he
Sal,
came back on that stool,
Sal,
he was out on his feet.
Sal, the defense. Listen, wait a minute. The defense of Virgil Hunter right now is he's trying to protect his fighter. That's what all of the Kool-Aid drinking fans that believe whatever some of these guys say. They're going to say, well, he was protecting his fighter. He did the right thing. No, if his fighter was that bad off that he's telling his fighter not to throw a punch, trying to get your legs under you, don't send him out.
Agreed.
Right? Don't send him out.
Bad. Like I said, if he saw he was out on his feet, if those eye pupils were dilated, if he was totally incoherent, and obviously he didn't know where he was or what was going on, yeah, you do not send him out for another round to get a beating.
I mean, and
if it was that, we weren't there.
Well, no, we weren't there. We weren't there. But that, you know what? That it's a decision that you make, and you're right. We weren't there. But what we did see was the facts were the facts. He barely made it out of the first round. As a matter of fact, the first time I watched the fight, when it was live, I thought that the referee waved it off because I didn't hear the bell sound or anything like that.
No.
And then he sends them to their respective corners. In the corner, you got your fighter a minute to try and recover. Fonfara was trying to bounce around and get his legs. He obviously, we didn't have the mic in there, but he obviously said, I don't have my legs, blah, blah, blah. As a good trainer, the first thing you do is check on the condition of your fighter. If your fighter is not able to continue while he's sitting on the stool, the guy doesn't know where he is, his eyes are all glossy like you're suggesting that, only Virgil Hunter, then don't send him out. I don't want to hear that he was protecting his fighter after he sent him out. Come on. Listen, Virgil Hunter is overrated. He's overrated. A defensive guru. Fonfara there wasn't one punch he didn't take on the face that Stevenson threw. And Stevenson isn't a sharp shooter. Come on.
No, you're right. He was blocking those punches. He was blocking with his chin.
With his chin, he was. He was using the face. Yeah, if Virgil
that
Hunter,
was my style sometimes. I thought they'd wear to break their hand on my face or something,
I'll tell you right now, Virgil Hunter, I guess his best, hey, listen, you want to defend punches? Real easy. Just use your chin. Use your chin. Just go face first. Use your face. That's how you want to be a great defensive fighter? Go face first. Let them punch the hell out of your face and tire them out. Maybe they break their hand on your chin. Maybe they tire themselves out. Then you go after. Come on, man. I don't want to hear that Virgil Hunter was doing the right thing for his fighter. No, the right thing for his fighter would have been to keep him on his stool if that were the case. If his fighter was in that much jeopardy where he tells his guy not to throw a punch, I've never heard such a ridiculous thing.
No. That right there. Hey, I could see. Hey, dance around him, stay away. Keep that jab out. Avoid it. Put some defense up there. Move. Get your legs underneath you. Don't engage in anything serious till you feel yourself gathering together and get back in there. Take this round off and just move around and use your arms and tie him up and do this other stuff. Yeah, those are the instructions you get. Tie him up. Move around. Do this. Do that.
Tie him up.
Don't throw any punches.
Tie him up. Move around. Use your jab. Use the whole ring. Angelo Dundee was always saying that.
He's a master.
We got to take it. Hold that thought.
I gotta hold my thought.
I got to hold something else. But listen, we got to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll finish this discussion. I got some emails to read. We got some news to talk about. We might even open up the phone lines. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C. Show. And before we went to break, Sal and I were discussing. Sal and I were discussing the whole fiasco in the corner. Where actually during the in between the first and second round for Andre Fonfara's knockout loss to Adonis Stevenson this past weekend, and quite frankly, Sal. The bottom line is, if you think your fighter's in trouble and you think that his wits are about him, but his legs aren't, that's the only time you take a chance and you send a fighter out. And like you suggested, you tell him, tie him up, dance around, keep your jab in his face to keep him away. It's called, it's called distance fighting. Keep your jab out there, keep him away from you. He's going to come after you. Mode. Yeah, he's going to tell you. He's going to come after you. He knows you're hurt. But this is only if your fighter's got the wits about him. It was clear that Fonfara did not have his wits about him. He can't even remember what happened after the first knockdown in the fight. If you know your fighter, if you really know your fighter. Now, Virgil Hunter obviously knows Andre Ward because he's worked with Andre Ward so much. But does he really know Andres Fonfara? And obviously, in my opinion, he didn't. And what does he do? He sends him out. And then, yes, he stepped up on the apron and stopped the fight after the anticipated attack of Stevenson on Fonfara. He stand up, and then all the Kool-Aid drinkers say, "Oh, he protected his fighter." No, he didn't protect his fighter. He shouldn't have even sent him out there. That was terrible. Bad move by Hunter. I think Hunter is the most overrated trainer in boxing. What do you think?
Well, it's hard to say, Bill. We've seen this before. We've seen a stellar fighter who evolves with a stellar trainer, And sometimes you got to wonder what came first, the chicken or the egg. And many times the fighters got the talent. Many times the trainer helps cultivate that talent. But when you have a union like that, it doesn't mean it's a fit for every model of fighter. And if Virgil Hunter had that success with Andre Ward, it doesn't necessarily mean that it can cross over to another fighter. And it's something that we see over and over again. We see trainers that have had success with big name fighters try to solve the problems or be the troubleshooter or be the definitive trainer in the corner of other fighters. And it just never really pans out that as successful as what the original reputation of the trainer has gotten. So I think that in all defense of that understanding that, yeah, some trainers have a perfect fit with some fighters. They're not an end-all to cure-all to mend-all. I like that. End-all to cure-all to mend-all. Let's remember that.
Listen, you're right, I think. The truth of the matter is...
Hey, I'm thinking every day, man.
I think you're right. But no, the truth of the matter is that throughout the history of the sport, there's been a lot of great trainer-fighter combos that have been successful. The one that comes to my mind first, because I knew them personally, and I knew Kevin more, but Kevin Rooney and Mike Tyson. Those two guys together were unbeatable. As a matter of fact, they never lost. When they separated, neither one of them were successful after. Now, you could argue that Mike Tyson still went on to regain a title and still had wins, etc., but he was certainly not the same fighter. And Kevin Rooney, as much as I love the guy and as much as friends we are, I'll never forget going to his gym in Catskill and watching him go through the routine of training fighters, and every fighter in that gym, regardless of their weight division, their height, their reach, their style physically, if they were short and, fat like me, or if they were tall and skinny like, well, not like Sal, but, like Tommy Hearns, they all were doing the same routine. They were all, bobbing and weaving and ducking and crouching and fighting like Mike Tyson. That's called, and Kevin, I love you, but that's called a one-dimensional trainer. He was lucky that he got Mike Tyson. Virgil Hunter, he's had Andre Ward. Obviously, a great fit. These two guys have not lost together in the amateurs or the pros. However, and the whole mental aspect, Virgil Hunter thinks he's this guru, this Zen master, and obviously his Zenning, if that's a word, worked for Andre Ward. It obviously didn't do what for Fonfara. There's been many other trainers. Freddie Roach is another great example. Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, great combo. Freddie Roach and other fighters, I think he's another overrated. The guy who I think is a good trainer. I mean, listen, I've always been, not that he pays me or anything, but Buddy McGirt is a great trainer, underrated trainer. Another good one is Diaz, or Garcia is another really good trainer. He any trainer that can go and take a fighter and highlight their innate abilities, their natural abilities, and capitalize and create a game plan to utilize that is a good trainer. A guy that goes through the motions and trains everybody the same way is not. What's your thoughts, Sal?
Thanks. I was going to raise my hand. Well, it just goes to show, again, one of the greatest trainers ever to step in a ring, who had success with multiple champions, at least two that we know are household names, was Angelo Dundee. What he did for Muhammad Ali and what he did for Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, there's probably not going to be too many trainers in the history of the world that, those were brilliant fighters. Muhammad Ali, we don't have to say anything. All you need to know is Muhammad Ali. Sugar Ray Leonard had a stellar career. All, guided and tutelage of Angelo Dundee. Now, the fighters do have the raw talent and ability. and Angelo would probably hone in and cultivate or gear them and just guide them a little bit here or there to make sure they accentuate their assets and their talent in the best way they could. And like I said, when a fighter has confidence in their trainer, that's half the fight right there, boys and girls. I mean, you got to have confidence. You got to know when you go back to that corner that whatever comes out of that trainer's mouth is golden, and you should listen.
Well, I agree with that, and that's a whole nother ball game. If you're a trainer,
whole nother level. Yeah.
Well, if you're a trainer and you have a fighter that's not listening to what you say, get rid of him because you're never anyway, I got some emails to read. First and foremost, let's get some. There was a couple of baseball games and another hockey game. Stanley Cup series is going on right now. The Stanley Cup Championship, and the Predators beat the Penguins 4-1 to even that series at 2 games apiece. It looked like the Penguins were on their way to another Stanley Cup victory. Whole Stanley Cup, I should say, and the Predators say no. They won the last 2 straight, so. That series is tied at 2 apiece. Wow, best of 7 Stanley Cup. We'll see what happens there. In baseball, the Reds topped the Cardinals 4-2. The Phillies beat the Braves 11-4. The Giants over the Brewers 7-2. The Cubs beat the Marlins 3-1. The Astros. The Marlins can't beat any team except the Mets. The Astros are a good team, man. I'd be nervous if I was ready to face the Houston Astros. They beat the Royals 7-3. The Nationals, another tough team, beat the Dodgers 4-2, and the A's topped the Blue Jays 5-3. We got an email. Let's read the first one, Sal. It's from my man Jesse. He says, "Hey Billy C and Sal, I agree that Stevenson is not great and needs to stop saying that. He must fight next either Kovalev, Ward, Alvarez, or maybe Smith Jr., or maybe some upcomers in Alexander Godsvik, Beterbiev, Barrera, or Bivol. He can't say or think he's great until he fights those top fighters. Credit to Stevenson, he does have good power and some boxing ability, but he's yet to display it against top guys. Fonfara needs to retire, but I think the ref should have given him more of a chance in the second round. Horrible defense." Yeah, well, horrible defense. He hired Virgil Hunter to teach him defense, and you're right, Jesse, horrible. As far as, a lot of times, most of the time I agree with Jesse, Sal, but again, Stevenson is a guy that's saying he's the greatest light heavyweight of all time. Those are his words. The greatest light heavyweight of all time, which is a complete joke. But the names, I mean, listen, there's only really, to say you're the greatest light heavyweight, there's only one fight that he has to have, and that's for him to fight the winner of Kovalev Ward 2. Anything short of that, and what they're going to hide behind is, is the Alvarez fight. They're going to say, oh, well, he's a mandatory by the WBC. So I could see that fight. But no one else should be thrown in the mix except for one of those 3 fighters, in my opinion. What do you think, Sal?
I think you're 100% right, and I think at least 2 of those 3 fighters will easily beat Stevenson. Not easily, but they'll beat him.
No, easily. Okay,
easily.
Because Kovalev and Ward, listen, and Alvarez showed us this past Saturday night that all 3 of those guys can go the distance. They can go 12 rounds. They can put a game plan together that's going to let them last 12 rounds. All right? Stevenson has not shown us that. His last distance fight was against Sekio Bika, and that was just an ugly fight. They've been cherry-picking his opposition. He goes in there, balls to the wall, goes for the knockout. No one's going to deny that Stevenson has punching power. He does. He's in there with guys that he could just go in there and blast out quickly. Stevenson will be huffing and puffing after 6 rounds. He does not beat any of those 3 fighters, Kovalev, Ward, or even Alvarez. He does not beat them. It's going to be interesting to see what his team does for him in his next fight and how much more step-aside money they're going to be paying Alvarez. Alvarez has made, I said this yesterday, Sal, Alvarez has made more money as step-aside money than he has fighting in the ring. Well, what's your thoughts on that?
That's amazing. Oh boy. Well, that's why he steps aside.
There's no doubt. I mean, he might as well be doing the two-step. That's a new. We should call that a new dance, the step-aside money dance. But
I know, right?
Anyway,
step aside,
Jesse says, "I'd like to see Dmitry Kutuzov against Marco Captain Huck, Gassiev, Makabu for his next fight. What do you think?" Marco Captain Huck really let me down and all his fans and really the cruiserweight division by just losing. It looks like he lost interest in the sport, or maybe he just wasn't as good as we thought. But yeah, I'm okay with any of those fights. He says Monsery, 47 wins, impressive, but the guys he's fought in are not so great. He's talking about Menayothin, the strawweight, minimum weight fighter, which you were right, Sally. He's 103 pounds, I think, is the weight limit. Yesterday when we were talking off air, I totally blew that one. What did I say, 112 or something? But, Menayothin, 47-0. You can't blame him for his level of opposition, to be honest with you, because in that weight division, the pickings are so slim. He still won all the fights. And the guy he fought this past weekend to get to numbers 47 was actually ranked at number 4 in his sanctioning body. So he's at least fighting, top 10 guys like you're supposed to when you defend. So, listen, the only time you can criticize fighters, regardless of the era they fight in, is when there's an opponent for them that they don't fight. If there's a guy available that they don't fight, it's called ducking. There's been many fighters that have done that. Pound for pound guy, top guy, Floyd Mayweather is one of them. He has fought some great names, but he's picked them at the perfect time. He has not fought the best guys in the division, and this has been going on for the last 10 years. That's where criticism can be. You can't criticize Hagler. You can't criticize Hearns. They fought each other. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, they all fought each other, like you say all the time, Sal, round robin. In a sense. So, you can't blame heavyweights when they fought in a weak division. It's not their fault. As long as they fought everybody that was available to them while they were champion or on their way up, you can't criticize. And Menayothin is that guy. You can't criticize him for not fighting anyone because he seemingly has fought everyone that's available to him in that light division. I mean, let's face it, my leg could make that division, Sal.
Absolutely.
What are you saying? No. What are you saying, Sal? You calling me a fat bastard? Come on. That isn't right. That's not right, calling me a fat bastard. Come on, man.
I didn't say that.
That's what you was insinuating. But wait a minute, that's a fire, right? No. Anyway, we got another email. I might even open up the phone lines here in a minute, Sal. But I got another email. This one's from my man Joel, who happens to be in the chat room right now. Remember, if you're watching or listening on a stream or on TV and you want to interact, check out the BillyCBoxing.com chat room, because that's the chat room that we comment on. And there's a lot of good, knowledgeable people in that chat room right now. So check it out. Go visit it right now. All you need is a Twitter or Facebook account, and you can log right in. So, and speaking of Facebook, we're happy to have the people that are watching us on Facebook Live. It is an experiment that we've been doing all week, and I will tell you, I like it. It's a little delayed. The video version that you're watching on Facebook Live is not the same as what they're watching on TV or in YouTube. It's just not the same. So if you're looking for a more video-enhanced, quicker, faster response, I know there's some delays on Facebook. That's not us. That's Facebook. So check out the YouTube channel for the real version. Anyway, Joel says, I was wondering if you guys saw the pro debut of Tony Yoka in France on Friday. He blasted out a club fighter, Travis Clark, in 2 rounds. He won the gold medal at the Olympic Games in the super heavyweight division this past summer. Do you guys see him having the same success as Anthony Joshua is having, or do you think it's still too early to tell? He's promoted by Ringstar Promotion, who's run by Richard Schaefer, and he's trained by your buddy Virgil Hunter. He says,
Wow.
I would like to see him do well, as I feel France doesn't have huge names in boxing, though it is very tough to eclipse the popularity and success Anthony Joshua has coming into his pro debut back in 2013. Well, first of all, since he's got Virgil Hunter as a trainer, we'll have to wait and see. But the one thing I will say, Virgil Hunter got Andre Ward early in his career, and he seemingly has Tony Yoka early in his career. So we'll see how well he does. But as far as Tony Yoka, he's impressive. He's 1-0 now. He made his pro debut, and people were talking about Virgil Hunter going from France to the fight for Fonfara this past weekend, and this is why he was in France for their fight on Friday. Tony Yoka, in case you missed it, he's 25 years old, a big guy, 6'7", weighs in around 240 pounds, just like Anthony Joshua physically. 1-0 now. He's got an 82-inch reach. He, I think he shows promise. The guy he fought is more than just a club fighter. Although I think that I think that Joel was kind of right, but Travis Clark was undefeated, 12-0. Granted, all 12 of his fights were against cupcakes or guys that ate a lot of them. But he was 12-0, 6'1", giving up half a foot to Yoka. He was 38 years old. Got into the second round before he was stopped. I think the bottom line, Sal, we need to keep an eye on Tony Yoka. And like Joel, I think it would be cool to have a prominent French heavyweight. I mean, when was the last French heavyweight? Carpentier back in the, really, I can't think of any other prominent French fighters. Can you?
Was that Jean-Paul Carpentier?
I'm talking about heavyweights.
I know, Jean-Paul Carpentier.
No, Carpentier, yeah. But I'm saying since him. Any others?
I can't think of anything. French fry, I don't know. I can't. No, Marcel Cerdan was a middleweight.
That's right.
I can't think of too many French fighters, period.
Think of French fries, you said. Come on, man. That isn't right.
Did you say French fries?
You said French fries. You said I could think of French fries. And I'm like, French fries? What are you talking about? But anyway, Tony Yoka, a guy to keep an eye on.
Tony Yoka.
Right? We got to, and that's no Yoka. That's no Yoka either,
No, let's definitely keep our eyes on him.
We'll keep an eye on him. Speaking of Anthony Joshua, what a segue. Jeez, how does this happen like this?
Man, you set that plate up just fine.
I mean, how does it happen?
Brilliant.
I mean, do you think that, the fact that I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and prepare for this show, you think that has anything to do with it? Because what a great segue into what I'm going to say right now. Talking about, speaking of Anthony Joshua.
What do you got on Anthony Joshua?
Imagine that. He's the next thing I want to talk about, Anthony Joshua, who I think is the best heavyweight in boxing today. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with his career for himself. But the one thing, as he moves forward, but the one thing I would think with Anthony Joshua, and he seemingly has done everything correctly, Sal, but the one thing that I'm wondering about him is this next move. He should be focused. A young guy like that should be focused on his boxing career. He's a world champion. Is he or is he not going to fight Klitschko for the rematch? Is he or is he not going to fight Deontay Wilder? Or should I say, is Deontay Wilder going to man up and fight him? Who knows? But it was announced yesterday that Anthony Joshua is now in the management and promotion business, as he is involved now with 2016 Olympic bronze medalist Joshua Butassi, who is now being managed by both Anthony Joshua and promoter Eddie Hearn. Butassi is 24 years old. He's going to make his pro debut in July, and I'm just. What's your thoughts on a fighter that's so involved in his career now, active career, where he's defining what I think is going to be a legacy, And all of a sudden, he starts to be a manager. And let's face it, the role of a manager is to advise and to help move along a fighter's career. How can he be doing that when he should be focusing on his own career, Sal?
Well, you hit it right on the head. You know what? Time after time after time, it proves. Not that you can't multitask. It's not that you can't do two things at once. But when you are the heavyweight champion of the world and you're in your prime or accelerating to become your prime, you do not deviate from the course that you're taking and take on another fighter or another person and manage their career, do promoting, do that. That's what you do in the twilight years of your career or when you retire from boxing. Now it's all about Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua should be strategizing and worrying about his own moves along the boxing fame and line as far as being the stellar, definitive world champion, heavyweight champion. So I don't know. I'm not sure I like that too much. Right?
Yeah, me neither. I think. Well, you know what I mean. Now
I'm not out of words to say. I'm speechless.
Oh, that's well, you better go see to a doctor. If you're speechless, you better go to a. But no, I agree with you, man. I think that.
I mean, what is he thinking about? What are you doing, Anthony? Come on, man. Open the phone line. Get Anthony Joshua on the phone.
Listen, the funny thing is that all fighters today, they become promoters. It's the business of boxing. And listen, before all you guys start emailing me, oh, Billy C, it's the business. I don't want to hear it. I've been in this business over 30 years. I know the boxing business, right? I don't need some fan to tell me, that making it like I don't know. I don't get it. Hello? No, I get it. But my point is when you're a special fighter like Anthony Joshua is, you should be focusing on your career. And Sal, you know how the boxing business is in terms of a fighter. Your career is short-lived. Out of any other, a professional athlete, their career, the span of that career is shorter than anything else, right?
Well, you're 100% right. And those were the famous words that Chicky Ferrara shared with me at the Blarney Stone, right around the corner where we used to train in Gleason's gym on 30th Street and 8th Avenue. And he said, hey, kid, I'm going to tell you right now, you got a few short years to make it or break it. You're a commodity. And you know what? We're around here forever. The trainers, the managers, the promoters, we're going to use you. We're going to work with you. And if you work out, that's great. We're going to ride the horse until it quits. And then if you don't make it, boom, we got another one around the corner. So, I mean, that was the dose of reality that I was told by the famous Chicky Ferrara, who I loved as a trainer. Great guy.
One of the first.
But so true. So true. You got a few short years. In that span, you've got to attain and achieve greatness and at least be on top of your game. Guess what? De La Hoya, I give him all the credit in the world. Oscar De La Hoya, he waited till after he retired, till after he had that last fight. And then he branched out to remain in boxing and still be at the top of his game as a promoter, as a manager, as an advisor. He's doing a great job.
And
so you know what?
And so I'll give credit to Floyd. He's doing the same thing. Hey, Sal, let's take a short break. Yeah, I did say that. I did give some credit to Floyd.
You know, I'm proud of you.
All of a sudden, there's like silence. Everybody that knows her, did he just give credit to Floyd? What's going on? Well, poor Billy C. I think he's losing his mind. But anyway, listen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, maybe we'll open up the phone line. So don't go nowheres.
Billy C. will be right back. Part of the Billy C. Boxing Network.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
This message is for all Americans that owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS. Look, I know you want to keep ignoring those letters, but the problem isn't going away. It's really stressful, and you don't know where to turn.
The good news is you have rights, and we can help resolve your IRS problems.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, our qualified CPAs, tax negotiators, and support staff know the law and know how to get your situation under control legally and permanently.
Call the number on your screen now and we will contact the IRS on your behalf, help you end wage garnishments, stop collection calls, remove tax liens, get rid of IRS and state tax penalties, and reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. You wouldn't go to fix your car without going to a mechanic, so why face the IRS without an experienced company that can help you?
Let us take the stress of back taxes and the IRS off your shoulders so you can spend time on the important things in your life, like your family or your business. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, call now and find out how we can help you.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. And also with us today, or I should say with me today, that makes us, is my man Sal Rocky Senecola. And I did state it. I know you just texted me and said, "Are you okay? What are you giving Floyd props for?" But it is true. He did start. Whoa! What a mug you got there, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, one mug to another.
I guess that's a pretty good looking mug, and you sold a bunch of those mugs, handmade Billy C. mugs. By Sal Rocky Senecola, and there's the big size, you know, and I heard you, the man, the myth, I heard you fill the one up, right? How do you fill it?
I do, I fill it. I do this. They drink, and it's Billy to Billy. You can feed one, and
you gotta give it. That's
I gotta get to the mouth. I'm pouring it on your mustache.
Hey, listen, let's open up the phone lines. Anybody that's got a question, comment, or concern, I want to focus on the Triple G talking smack about Canelo or even the Virgil Hunter debate that we're having. Give us a call. The phone line is open, 845-228-8710. Let us know what you think about that stuff. 845-228-8710. We're only going to take one caller at a time. So give us a shout. Let us know what you think. Some other things in boxing. And by the way, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to have Boxing Hall of Famer, as usual, Larry Hazard. We'll have him come on. And I'm going to put him on the spot and ask him some point-blank questions about Virgil Hunter and the way that fight was stopped. Maybe even the judging. I know Larry's always adamant about poor referees and judges, being the New Jersey State Athletic Commissioner. And that one fight, the Jean-Pascal Alvarez fight, the one judge having it 114 was a travesty. So we'll see about that. And we also have our Blast from the Past tomorrow, Sal. One of your favorite fighters, The Rock, Rocky Graziano.
Oh, man.
Middleweight world champion.
About Rocky. I'm telling you, I can tell you, I knew Rocky very well, spent time with him, and that's how I got my name, Rocky. I'll tell you that whole story.
Would you
tomorrow.
Spend time with him in the Slammer, or what? What do you mean you spent time with him? You know, I love the story about
what was his real name? Rocky Barbera.
Barbera, yeah. But I like the story. He says, when I was a kid, I only used to steal stuff that began with an A, a truck, a car, a horse, a dog. You know. But anyway, Give us a call. What's your thoughts on Triple G talking smack or this whole Virgil Hunter debate? 845-228-8710. We're not going to throw it out there one more time. So anyway, my man Coach in the chat room. Hey, Coach, send me that link for the Yoka fight. I'd like to see it if you can. I'd appreciate it. Email it to me. I know he put it up in the chat room, but I'm curious to see that fight. So let me know. And hopefully you guys on Facebook, we're broadcasting Facebook Live. It seems like that stream, Facebook, because of the traffic that Facebook has, that stream is just so delayed, man. You guys, if you can even hear me, come on over to the other one. But some other news. Remember Leon Lawson, the uncle who sucker punched Jose Ugles? Well, let's just call him you. On the Showtime thing. I mean, that was terrible. He was at large. This guy was, I was waiting to see his picture in the post office, but they finally, he got a lawyer. And you know what bothers me about this situation, Sal? They waited so long to do something about it. I really think that they didn't think that anything was going to happen, that this would just blow over. But he got himself a lawyer. His lawyer, recommended that he turn himself in, which he did on Friday. And he is sentenced, let me rephrase that. He is set to stand trial for the charges in August 16th, in Prince George's County in Maryland. He was charged officially with a second-degree assault charge, punishable, and also a misdemeanor, which was punishable by up to 10 years in prison. He also was possibly going to be charged with a first-degree assault charge, which is considered a felony, which is punishable by up to 25 years. But the first-degree charge was dismissed because they claim they did not have efficient evidence. I think somebody should send them the videotape of the Showtime broadcast. What do you mean you didn't have sufficient evidence? Are you kidding me? Have you ever heard such a joke, Sal?
No. Let me tell you something. I can't believe it. Definitely not an eyewitness news report.
Unbelievable that they downplay that charge to a second-degree assault charge versus a first-degree assault charge, which is a felony. So they got the misdemeanor. Listen, I predicted from day one that this guy wasn't going to do a day in jail. Dax came on saying that he was definitely going to go to jail. Coach was saying he was definitely going to go to jail. No, he's going to get off. He's going to be on probation. He'll never be able to do anything with fights again in Maryland. The state of Maryland is just going to say, we never want to see you in our state anymore. So what? Who goes to Maryland? I drive through there. That's about it. No offense to anybody that lives in Maryland, especially my man Scotty Krause. But the bottom line is that's a travesty. If they are really serious about insufficient evidence, what do they got? Ray Charles looking at the videotape, Sal? I mean, come on, man. That's terrible. That videotape has to be enough evidence, right?
It should be, but I just have one question. Who is and what does this guy Misdemeanor have to do with it?
Misdemeanor?
Yeah.
Misdemeanor?
What's his misdemeanor have to do with?
Misdemeanor is he's the cousin of the cousin of the cousin of Lawson. Misdemeanor.
That probably look pretty mean enough.
Yeah, no. That's his other cousin, Mr. Mean. This cousin is Misdemeanor. So you know the deal. You know the deal. But I think that's a travesty.
No,
that this guy at least listen. I don't think he's going to be doing any time. I never thought he would be doing any time. But at least charge him with the right charge. Then if you're going to throw him a deal, you do that afterwards. But at least if you're going to go through the motions like they're going through the motions, at least charge him with the right charge. I mean, come on, man. I mean,
like I said, this guy should be banned from boxing and, not allowed in the stadium because he's unpredictable. Where do he cold cocked a fighter. I mean, you don't do that. You have a license to be in a corner. That's a privilege. And to do what you did should be you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, the thing is that let's be real. There's two issues here in terms of legality. You have the first issue is the legal, the assault. I mean, you're just not allowed to. You're not allowed to, legally in this country and state by state, you're not allowed to go punch somebody in the face for no reason. You're allowed to defend yourself, but you're not allowed to punch a guy in the face for no reason, like he did. This was not. If you're talking about, here's why I feel that they should have never reduced the charge. In a heat of the moment, and we talked about this after the fight's out. In the heat of the moment, this guy's related to Durrell, and he's trying to stick up for the family member. Blah blah blah. Heat of the moment, you go over and you punch a guy while it's still happening. While he's laying on the ground, acting that he's real hurt. While he's laying on the canvas, if you punch him, you could say that it was a reaction. But this took place, 10 minutes after it was, after the initial late hit, which was also controversial. So, I mean, the guy had a time to think about it, to think about what he was going to do, You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, So, he failed to do that. And, he went and thought about it and then, failed to just do it at a spur of the moment. Went over and thought about it and then sucker punches the guy. And then he gets a secondary. I mean, it's clearly first.
It was premeditated.
Definitely premeditated. I don't know. And so that's the first issue, the legal issue. The second legal issue is the Maryland State Athletic Commission. Their job is to protect the fighters. Now, as far as protecting Andre Durrell from a punch after the bell, well, that's what Bill Clancy did. If you believe that was deserved to be disqualified, and that's a whole nother ballgame, that's what the referee did. He disqualified, he protected Andre Durrell by disqualifying Jose Yu. Okay? But what about Jose Yu? He's a fighter. I remember somebody sending me a clip of a fight that took place in some country, and they were mad that the fighter beat their country, and they're throwing bottles and chairs, and they had to, escort this kid out of the ring, to protect him from the fans. Your job as a commission, Sal, has to be to protect the fighters, both sides, the winners, the losers. Absolutely. Even a guy that in this case was disqualified deserves to be protected by the Maryland Commission. And they failed to do it. And to even they suspended him indefinitely. Big deal. He'll never go and have a crab cake in Maryland again. Who cares? I don't think that it was the right thing to do. They should not have reduced that charge. What's your thoughts?
No, they should never reduce their charge. And I'll tell you, I'm sure you got plenty of attorneys looking to take on Durrell as far as for a lawsuit because for Mr. Yu. In favor of Mr. Yu, because like you just said, the commissioner's job is also to protect the fighters and not let a loose cannon in the ring.
Well, the IBF still hasn't ordered a rematch yet on that fight, something that I feel they should do. To this day, I don't feel that it should have been a disqualification. I feel that it definitely should have been a point deduction, if not two. If Andre Durrell continued his Academy Award acting game that he was playing, then they go to the scorecards. But to DQ the fight, Jose was winning that fight. Andre Durrell, his camp, the nature of the business. And we heard Larry Hazard say himself on this show that the rest of the camp is problems. When they come into town to do fights and the Durrell brothers are involved, regardless of which one is on the card, there's trouble. There's trouble with the team. That they act inappropriately. And I think that you need, especially in a sport like this, Sal, you need to make a statement. And this is a great time to do so.
I agree.
For them to reduce this charge, I think that that's just another black eye for the sport of boxing.
100% right.
That's it? That's all you're going to say?
So, well, no, you're 100% correct. I mean, this doesn't, like I said, not to be extreme, but yeah, maybe you do have to be extreme in this case. There should have been a charge filed for what it is, assault and battery, and this guy should be banned from boxing for life. I mean, they've done it before to other figures in the boxing game, such as Panama Lewis and this one and that one. And I mean, there's no reason that this guy should not have had the book thrown at him for what you just said, Bill, as an example, because this is something you cannot do. This is something you do not do. And to see it happen live, televised worldwide, it's a shame. It's just devastating. First of all, and to be knocked out, not by your opponent, but by an uncle, man from uncle, is not good.
If this, like I said before, if it happened spur of the moment, and I'm not saying it would have been right, but if it happened spur,
right, but no, you're right, Bill.
Well, I'm just saying, if it happened spur of the moment, emotions got the best of them. Right, the emotions got the best of them. Sorry, it happened. But this was a guy that went over there, and for them to say they don't have enough evidence is a joke. I mean, all they got to do is watch the tape. It's all over the place. Well,
you said a big thing right there, too, Bill. Had it been a spur of the moment, I mean, there should have been an outcry right there from him saying, hey, I apologize. I got caught up in the heat of the moment. I was emotional, and I apologize. I should never have done that. You didn't hear anything like that.
No.
He ran away hiding.
And you know what? If he says that, Sal, he probably gets a hey, don't worry about it from
a misdemeanor or maybe a worry about it. I understand
misdemeanor, whatever his name is. But the truth of the matter is that maybe it just gets shoveled under the carpet. But instead, he thinks about it. He plans how he's going to do it. He walks over there like a chump, like a punk that he is. He walks over there pretending he's talking to the other trainer, which makes me wonder because I don't know if any of them speak English. But, he goes over there and then all of a sudden hauls off and whacks this guy out of the blue. That's a punk. Lawson is a punk. There's not now the whole Darrell team is a bunch of punks. I can't.
Away or he disappeared in the crowd and boom, he's gone for days.
Come on, they disguise him. They got days. He was gone for weeks. He turned himself in. You telling me that they couldn't find this guy?
They couldn't find this guy.
I mean, come on.
All the sophistication and cameras and this and that, they should be able to follow him right out the door to home.
They found Obama bin Laden easier than him. Come on, man. Give me a break. I think it's a joke. I think it makes listen. Boxing has this way of every time it's taken a couple of steps forward, we take a couple of steps back. And the characters that are involved in the sport are solely to blame. This guy, not only is he a scourge of a human being for doing this, and I'm talking about Lawson, but the truth of the matter is that he should have, the powers that be should have made a statement and, nip this in the bud. Find them. Send the people out there. I'm sure that there's people available in the state of Maryland without going and perfecting crab cakes, because that's what they're known for, that they could have sent them out to find this guy. I'm not, I don't know how much of an underground hiding situation they had. It's comical. And then to come out and say that they reduced the charge from a felony to a misdemeanor, from a first degree assault to a second degree, because there was insufficient evidence. Are you kidding me? I mean, what more evidence do they need aside from a video showing the whole act? They have the video, Sal, from the time he walked from the corner all the way over through the punch. I mean, through him throwing the punch. How is that insufficient?
Unbelievable. It's like do something and tell me it's you do something on my leg and tell me it's rain. Forget about it.
It's it's a shame. And then the IBF still trying to make up their mind. Basically the IBF is saying, okay, here's the deal. If you want us to order a rematch, we need some coin. We need you to throw us some money. And for you guys that don't want the rematch, you need to throw us some money. So whoever throws us the most money will kind of sway our decision. Come on, man. I mean, look, people can say what they want about every sanctioning body. I personally think that the WBA is the worst. They're a joke. And, whether you like the WBA, whether you like the IBF, whether you like the WBC, you could say what you want about any of the sanctioning bodies, pro and con. But I will say one thing about the WBC, and I have not been a strong advocate of any sanctioning body, but the WBC is swift with their decisions. Now, I don't agree with all their decisions all the time, Sal, but they're swift and quick and prompt with making a decision, something the IBF is failing to do right here. There is no doubt that this should be an immediate rematch type fight. There's no doubt that this fight should actually be changed, the decision, because of the disqualification and everything that transpired after this. I would even consider changing this to a no contest. Maybe you can't do that. I don't know. Maybe because Bill Clancy made the decision, it stays as a DQ. It becomes a judgment call. I personally don't think it should have been disqualified, but I could see where, he's in charge. Bill Clancy's in charge. I mean, we got to accept that, but at least the IBF could, because there was an interim belt on the line, at least the IBF could order an immediate rematch and, go from there. But again, the state of Maryland changing this from a felony to a misdemeanor, appalling. Final thoughts, Sal?
No, you're right. I mean, we could beat it down, we could turn it inside out, we could rip it apart, but it is what it is. And you know what? It just should be. It should be black and white. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to look for film. Shouldn't have to look for reasons. This and that. It was something that was disgraceful. It was something that was unexpected. It was something that was just should be punished and should be set up for an example, so no other person in that situation comes up with that idea again. That's all.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. This situation, they must set an example. This is
a precedent. I mean, we it's probably occurred a dozen times. We just never in the past that we didn't know of and see it. But the bottom line is this was on a major fight broadcast, and it should be used as an example. This is not how we conduct our behavior in a game of boxing. And no ifs, ands, and buts. You cannot do this.
I would think that they needed to come down hard. And the fact that he ran away, like you said earlier, and then stayed away and stayed in hiding for several weeks.
I can't believe it.
I mean, that just made it worse. I don't know.
Had he come out emphatically and said, "Hey, listen, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I never meant it to go that far. I got caught up at the heat of the moment. I will take care of your medical bill, whatever you got to do. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm sincerely sorry, and I apologize to you that I did that to you."
The thing is unfortunately, our legal system basically, sometimes it puts the wrong people behind bars, or it comes down really heavy on an individual that maybe can't, I can't say it any other way, but buy their way out of it. And then other times it does crazy stuff. I'll tell you a quick non-boxing related thing that happened locally where I broadcast from my studio. There was, you guys know, I'm on Lake George, New York, and it's a tourist lake, a beautiful lake, one of the most beautiful lakes in the world, actually. I mean, it's a natural lake, and if you've never been here or If you've never seen it, punch it up and you'll see what I mean. But there was a boating accident that took place last year, and basically there was this big. They had this event every year, a party at the end of the season. And it started off as just, years ago, it started off just a few boats. Well, anyway, it turned into this major thing, 600 boats and stuff all hanging out, getting all drunk and drugged up and everything else. And last year, there was a family that was, on the lake here from California on vacation, visiting the lake, and they were on a boat. And they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. They were it was at dusk, and they were driving the boat back to wherever they were staying, and this other boat coming from the Log Bay party that they always had, like I suggested, under the influence of, it was determined later, under the influence of not only drugs and alcohol. Not only alcohol, but drugs too. I mean, I guess you can't have any, I guess you can't be under the influence of anything else. But, and they were speeding and literally crashed into this other boat, went over the boat, killing an 8-year-old girl, maiming the mother, and continued to drive. They did not stop or anything. And the result was the driver of the boat got charged, and there were people on the scene. They were trying to argue that he had the right of way. They were trying to argue. I mean, listen, it boiled down to the fact, similar in this situation, that these guys, and the boat was loaded with people, initially sentenced to 7 to 25 years in jail. Well, it was just announced the other day. Now, this kid comes from a very privileged background. It was just announced the other day that they gave the official sentence, and he's doing, 5 to 10 years. That means he's going to be out in 3 years. And the truth of the matter is, this area had a chance to make a statement that they will not tolerate this type of behavior, and yet they failed. In my opinion, they failed. You could make the argument that the kid is doing time. He's a young man. His life is put on hold, et cetera, et cetera. But what about the family that I happen to have met that lost their little girl, 8 years old? That the mother is, not 100% recovered and may never recover from the physical injuries. I mean, how do you compensate that? You need to make a statement. And in cases like this, the Maryland State Athletic Commission and Maryland State itself needed to make a statement. And I know that the outcome hasn't even been determined yet, but I think they're falling short, Sal.
You're right, Bill. And it's such a sad, devastating story as far as what you just will share with us. And boy, oh boy, that 8-year-old never could see anything else, and the mother is going to live with that, and her family is going to live with that pain and agony for the rest of their lives. And the guy has just 5 years and probation, maybe.
Yeah.
But,
well, no, I know that had nothing to do with boxing, and I apologize.
It's just, you said, but you tied it together when you said Lake George or the community had a chance to set an example, so it would probably not happen again, or people would think twice before it happened. Like down here. They're very strict on drinking and driving boats and stuff down here. And again, that was an opportunity to make precedent and set an example, just like the Maryland State Athletic Commissioner can do with their verdict as far as what they're going to do about this cold cock slap knockdown of this cornerman.
Well,
by the cornerman.
The point is that, and again, I apologize. I didn't mean to get all depressive with the story, but my point is that we need to take responsibility for actions that we do, and if you make the wrong decision, and there's consequences that may be life changing, a la having a record for the rest of your life or going to jail or whatever. You got to do the right thing sometimes. Well, you should do the right thing all the time. But in this case, this guy, by running and hiding and then having the state reduce it because they, obtained a lawyer and they probably cut a deal behind closed doors, that doesn't set the right example. It doesn't. It doesn't paint the right picture. And for a sport that, you know, the object is to knock your opponent out, the last thing we need to worry about, especially for young fighters, to step in the ring, they're trying to focus on one guy. If I'm a fighter, I don't want to sit and have to, you know, kind of scope out the whole team and wonder how I'm going to defend myself if they attack me. You know, I mean,
that cut man looks pretty intimidating. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, hey, you know that cut man. What's he got? Is he going to take that Q-tip and poke my eye out with that thing? You know, I mean, is he going to rub some of that, you know, adrenaline in my eye? You know, I mean, you know, I don't know. You know, but is he going to take those scissors and make my glasses really, really wobbly? I mean, I don't know. But anyway, hey, Sal, hold that thought. I got some more news coming up, and we'll try and get out of the depression mode here. And again, I didn't mean to make it.
It's a story, and, you know, it's something. And hey, I just I think, you know, we can move on from it. He's made a good example, and when you come back from a commercial, we'll look at the bright side of things.
Sounds good. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Tell me, Kenny, how is it you rub my belly so fine with that secret rub of yours? And don't even tell me what you're gonna do next. I love you, Kenny Bear. Tell me, Kenny baby, what you gonna do next?
Kenny Bear's Old Florida Barbecue Rub and Seasoning. Grab a bottle today.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. And I just want to thank everybody that's watching us on Facebook Live. You know, it's an experimental thing, and we would love to hear from you. If you like it and want us to continue, drop me an email, billy@talkinboxing. That's TALKINBOXING.com. And for that matter, we'd love to hear from all of our viewers on Holyfield Television. We are proud to be on Holyfield TV sports programming. and we'd love to hear from you guys. We noticed that on the schedule we are being played several different times on the Holyfield TV schedule, so we're curious to know when and you're listening and where you're from, or when you're watching and where you're from and all that stuff. We always like to know where our audience is. So feel free, if you take the time to write us an email, we'll take the time to read it here on air. So drop me an email, Billy@TalkinBoxing. That's TalkinBoxing.com. And Sal, it just bothers me. I was just responding to something in one of the comment areas on Facebook Live, and it just bothers me that, people do things and they're not held accountable. You got, how many times do we have to watch video of, some guy that or woman, getting arrested, getting beat up, getting thrown down because they're the wrong color or they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're watching dastardly deeds and not all police are bad, but, some of these cops that are trying to get away with stuff, and we watch it, we're appalled by it, and then we see them, get away with it, And then yet when you have someone like in this situation, in the Lawson situation where, you have full video, and we're not talking about some cheesy bank quality video. We're talking about, a Showtime high definition camera that's on this guy. I mean, you can't even say, well, maybe that's not him. You can't say that. I mean, you got all the angles. They had multiple camera shots on him, and then to have them come back and say that there wasn't enough evidence. Are you kidding me? I just don't understand it. How do they do it?
I don't know, but that qualifies under beyond the shadow of a doubt.
How can but you could get away with that?
I don't know. I mean, let me tell you something, Bill. We live in this litigious society, and let me tell you something. There are things that attorneys can invent, reinvent, redefine that will blow yours and my mind out of the water. It does not follow the rule of suit or common sense by any way, shape, or means. So it is what it is. I mean, it's right in front of you, and the truth is right in front of you. But like I said, it's going to be re-examined, it's going to be reshaped, it's going to be represented, and it's going to be everything else but what it is. That's the end result. That's where we are today. And you wonder why. Where we are is what we are, how we are.
Well, you know what I always say. Wherever you go, there you are.
You're there.
There you are.
What is it? Because I always mess that up.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Say, wherever I go, there I am.
That's right. Well, that's you talking about yourself. I just want to make one other statement here. Chris Eubank Jr.
Yes.
Who's really passed up on some good opportunities, and he talks a lot of smack, and I think Chris Eubank Sr. is misleading him. But anyway, it was announced yesterday that on July 15th at the Wembley Arena, Chris Eubank Jr. is finally going to fight a pretty tough opponent. Now remember, his loss is to Billy Joe Saunders, who neither one of us think is that dangerous in terms of the middleweight division. Maybe for us, but But Chris Eubank Jr. set to fight Arthur Abraham July 15th. Eubank is 24-1 with 19 knockouts, and Arthur Abraham is 46-5. And in case y'all forgot, Roy Jones Jr. Top 10 hit. Yeah, right. Is actually Eubank Jr. Has the IBO World Super Middleweight title, so he'll be defending that against 37-year-old Arthur Abraham. I don't anticipate Eubank going the distance in this one. What do you think?
No, I don't think so either. It should be a good night of work, but we'll see. When's this fight slated for?
In July.
July. All right.
We got some decent fights coming up. Got some decent fights coming up.
We do. Like I said, we've had the whole mechanics and rebooting take place, and they're paying some dividends this year because we're going to see some good fights.
And don't forget, if you are going to be heading south next week, or if you're looking for something to do next week, during the week, stop by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria, an Italian restaurant. I'm going to be there. Sal and I are working on a secret project that we will be announcing at the end of July. But I will be there for several days. And, stop by and have some dinner next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Both great nights to come by Sal's and have a meal. And I'll be there. I'll be the drunk guy sitting in the corner that they're just, intravenously feeding pizza to.
I'm going to give you a little shot of Johnny Walker Blue.
There you go. I left you some last time I was there. Have you checked it?
No,
I told them to put it back in the box like it was still full. You better check that. You better check it. But anyway, we got our trivia question, Sal.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. It's a tough one. I've gotten some answers, but none of them are correct. The deal here, and if you're new to the show, if you're the first one to email me the correct answer, at Billy@TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com. You'll win the prize. Now, what's on the line is the same simulation program that Alex Papella uses for our Blast from the Past segment, the Title Bout Championship computer game. So if you're the first one, it's a great prize. So if you're the first one to get this right, it's got to be emailed, then you'll win a copy. Here's the question. Before my 20th birthday, I beat 4 former world champions and lost to another one whom I defeated a month past my 20th birthday. Who am I? It's a who am I question. Before my 20th birthday, I beat 4 former world champions and lost to another one whom I defeated just a month past my 20th birthday. Who am I? Sal, can you steal the answer? And let everybody know to force me to do another one. Who do you think it is?
I think it's Jack Dempsey.
No, not this time, my man. Jack Dempsey is not the correct answer.
No,
you did.
come on.
You know what? You did get one of the questions right, didn't you? There was one that you got right, but no, this is not Jack Dempsey. Jack Dempsey, unfortunately, did not fight and beat 4 former world champions and lost to another one and then defeated that guy a month past his 20th birthday. He is not the guy, but thanks for the answer. So one more question I asked for you guys. If you're the first one to email me correctly, you win the prize. The question is, it's a who am I question. One last time, I'm going to read it. Before my 20th birthday, I beat 4 former world champions and then lost to another former world champion whom I defeated a month past my 20th birthday. Who am I? No hints yet. So good luck to everybody on that one. Programming note, we will not be here on Friday or all of next week. As I have mentioned, we will be, Sal and I are working on a project together, and we will be down in St. Simons, and we hope to see you down there at Sal's. But on this day, June 6th, in 1985, Alfonso Ratliff wins a 12-round decision over Carlos De Leon to win the WBC World Cruiserweight title, and that took place in Las Vegas on this day in 1985. On this day in 1988, a fight that we were actually just talking about, Sal, last week, Iran the Blade Barkley knocks out Tommy Hearns in the 3rd round to win the WBC World Middleweight title, and that took place in Vegas. Stephen A. Smith used this fight to try to suggest that Conor McGregor actually has a chance of beating Floyd Mayweather in the squared circle. He used this as an analogy, saying that Tommy Hearns was so much better than Iran Barkley that he took him a little lightly and got caught by a power puncher, and he actually gave Conor McGregor the same kind of chance. I say that Stephen A. Smith is just trying to help his buddy Floyd Mayweather get this fight signed, sealed, and delivered, which I still think it would be a travesty if it's counted as a legitimate fight. And finally, on this day, Sal, June 6th, in 1912, Jim Driscoll knocks out Jean Posey in the 12th round to win the vacant British world featherweight title, and that took place in London. As you guys have learned, back in those days, they did have several world titles that states sponsored, and in this case, the Brits sponsored. So it wasn't until after that where they got rid of it. So we're always complaining how many titles there were now. Well, there was less weight classes, but there still were several titles out there back then too. So, hey, listen, that concludes our show for today. I want you to make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel. But until then, I'm going to leave you with this. Ciao, baby.